that says that he was like maybe the son of like Zeus and Persephone, or like the son of Hades and Persephone, or even like some sort of proto Dionysus, right? The Zagreus. Needless to say, there's a precedent for Zagreus, even though like none of us have ever heard of him.
Yeah,
Um,
his name isn't Zagreus Ebony Darksha Dementia Risen Way. He's got black hair with pink streaks.
my name is Zagreus. I go to Hogwarts. My dad is Satan, but I don't like him. Welcome to Mortified, the Friendship Quest, a podcast where two long-distance friends bounce media recommendations, all in hopes the other will like it. I'm Aaron.
And I'm Leyla.
And this week, we talk about Supergiant Games' 2020 Greek mythology roguelike Hades. Before we drag ourselves out of a pool of blood, remember you can help us on Mortified the Legitimacy Quest by subscribing to us on YouTube, iTunes, or Spotify, signing up for our monthly newsletter through the link in our show notes, or following us on Twitter at MortifiedPod. Leyla, we are going to do something a little bit different, which is that we're going to talk about a game which is like that we haven't like 100%. It's different because we haven't like finished it necessarily, but that also doesn't matter.
No, not at all.
Do you want to try to frame Hades for us?
Sure. So, in the Supergiant tradition, Hades is a character-based narrative roguelike that is very centered around music and the concept of where the son of Hades and Persephone, Zagreus, is trying to escape Hades. And every time he dies, he just ends up back in his house. And as he's on his journey, the Olympian gods have found out that they have a relative down below. They're aiding him through boons. He can also pick up other helpful trinkets, I guess, and also gets help from the Chthonic gods, which are the gods of Hades. And they're all doing it behind Hades' back. And Hades is just kind of a mean dad, and he's very large. I think that about sums it up.
Big mean dad, also god of underworld.
With a wide fucking swing.
Yeah, homie's got a pretty big swing. Yeah, so, Leyla, what Supergiant games have you played?
All of them.
Oh.
Yep. I love Supergiant Games. I will sell my fucking soul to them. They're great. I played Bastion back when it came out. I played Transistor, Pyre, and now this. And I think Transistor was my number one for a really long time. I think Hades is my new fave.
Yeah, I actually got introduced to Supergiant Games through you because you had been tweeting about Pyre when it came back in, I want to say 2018. And I was like, oh, Leyla really likes this game. I guess I should check it out. I was like, oh, it's a basketball visual novel. Interesting. And then I just beat it in a fugue state in like 8 hours straight. And I was like, wow, I like
It's
that
a basketball visual novel about purgatory.
I mean, essentially, yeah. So it makes sense that their next game would go straight to hell. Right, we've got a lot of characters. I mean, the thing is that because it's drawing on Greek mythology, like you probably have a good idea of what these characters are like already for a lot of them. I think the main one is Zagreus, and I looked up like the origin of Zagreus because I was looking through the Hades wiki earlier, and like apparently there is like he's not like a new character or a new he's not an OC, right? Like there is some like Greek lore like that says that he was like maybe the son of like Zeus and Persephone, or like the son of Hades and Persephone, or even like some sort of proto Dionysus, right? The Zagreus. Needless to say, there's a precedent for Zagreus, even though like none of us have ever heard of him.
Yeah, his name isn't Zagreus Ebony Darksha Dementia Risen Way. He's got black hair with pink streaks.
My name is Zagreus. I go to Hogwarts. My dad is Satan, but I don't like him.
Oh God, kind of wish though. That would be funny.
Oh man, I gotta write that fanfiction now.
Oh, please do.
My immortal and also not immortal.
My undead immortal.
Exactly. So Zagreus is so he's not like exactly full of energy, hyper optimistic, which is, like a kind of protagonist that I'm actually not that familiar with because all of the media I consume have upbeat and happy protagonists. Zacharias is like he's kind of like a frustrated teen. Like I mean, he's probably like hundreds of years old, but he his main like motivation, right, is to get out of hell, right? He is in the Greek version of hell, which consists of four layers, which are Tartarus, Asphodel, Elysium, and then the Temple of Styx. And he is trying to get out of these layers because he recently learned that he has a mom, or rather, the mom that he was told was his mom isn't his actual mom, and he does have a living actual mom up on the surface somewhere. And that's the whole conceit of the game. Zagreus is trying to get out to see his mom and talk to her and convince her to, you know, come back and just learn about him. And right, Zagreus' whole deal is that like he has this turbulent relationship with his father, who is Hades. You've heard of him. He's much less like the fucking like Hercules Disney movie version of Hades, and much more like your stepdad who you don't get along with very well and is always disappointed in you and makes you do paperwork that you don't understand. Um, and
Oh my god, that little side quest where it's not even a side quest. It you occasionally get like flashbacks or cutscenes of like Zagreus' time in the House of Hades. And there's one where he's working in the administrative chamber with all the ghosts, and it gives you no directions as to what to do, except dad is yelling at you the whole time. Go to the alpha desk, go to the zeta desk. And it's like, which one is that? I don't know. And you go click and there is no right answer. And he just yells at you and kicks you out. It is so fucking funny, but it is so fucking stressful. And then if you can buy privileges to get back into the administrative chamber. And have you encouraged the ghosts?
yeah, I did. I gave that like shitty little speech. The Zacharias is like, "Hey, you guys are doing great. Just keep up all the good work. I know you must be tired, even though you don't actually have physical bodies. But yeah. Anyway, and they all just like ignore him.
Extremely good. Yeah, he's very like he reminds me of like an irreverent teen in like a British slice of life, like a mid 2000s BBC sitcom.
Yeah, that's something I could. That's a point of reference that I have.
Hey, listen, I don't know what your nerd ass past has been like, but I know that I watched a shit ton of Doctor Who once upon a time.
I'm
So
working through that now with my wife, so maybe I'll understand that reference here in a couple more weeks.
I believe in you.
But yeah, he is very much just like I gotta get out, and he's very driven. But Zacharias is, like most protagonists, not the most interesting character in their own story. Um, right, you all kind of get the understanding. You've probably all understand the myth of Hades and Persephone, right? Like Persephone is taken down to live with Hades, but then her mom wants her back, so she has to spend half of the year down in the underworld and half of the year, up above. If you don't, just Google Hades Town musical and just go from there. It'll be a chill and cool time. Uh, Big recommend to that one. But there's like a lot of other characters, and I feel like we should just start with like let's start with Cerberus because that's probably the easiest to go with. Cerberus in this game is just a big, huge, stupid, three-headed red dog. Think Clifford the Big Red Dog, but like with plus two heads and can breathe fire or whatever. Um, but one thing I really like about this game, and Polygon actually did a video about this, is that the reason that they like have Cerberus there is because like whenever you die in Hades, because it's a roguelike, so you're dying very frequently. Um, like they keep Cerberus there to greet you because when you die, you go back to the House of Hades, and you can go and like pet Cerberus, and they like spend a lot of time making Cerberus petable because they wanted you to like have something to look forward to when you die. And I thought that was just so nice that they were like, you know what, we just want you to look forward to dying, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But I just like that's the kind of thing we're working with here. Like we have this like desperate escape from the underworld. You're fighting through waves of monsters, but also when you die, you come back and like you get to pet your dog and talk to your ex girlfriend and stuff. Which is it's so fun.
I know there was nothing more tense for me than showing up at the Temple of Styx for the first time. Mind you, I was really good about not looking at spoilers, so I genuinely had no idea how many layers there were. I didn't know how deep this game went. And then when I finally got to the Temple of Styx, I was like, oh, was that it? And I saw Cerberus, and my heart sank into my stomach. And like, the game fakes you out a little bit because Zag like gets ready to fight him, and then he's like, "Nah, I'm just fucking kidding you out your treat, boy." And then you have to go and you have to find Cerberus a treat in one of the 5 chambers available to you in the Temple of Styx. It really like switches up the rhythm of the game, but that was like the biggest relief of my life. And then every time you give Cerberus the treat, the title card changes a little bit. It's just like Cerberus vanquished. Like,
Cerberus
really
defeated
good.
his hunger.
Just excellent.
It's really cute. Yeah, I mean, do you have a favorite chthonic a character?
Oh,
I mean, I know you do, but do you want to talk about them?
I mean, okay, I actually really like all of them. I really like Nyx. Probably just academically the most. She's just this really like level-headed, calm matriarch, and she's doing everything she can to like help her adopted son find his birth mother, who she really likes and respects, and she's just this like really genuinely good presence. But if it comes to like raw instinct, I saw Thanatos for 10 seconds. I was like, like the Fenris Instinct from Dragon Age 2 awakened in me. I'm like, you have a shitty middle part, a bad attitude, white hair, and I feel like you're the rejected backup singer from Emily Autumn in 2004. Like, yes. And I've been in love with him ever since. I think he's a fantastic, crotchety little douche, and I would die for him.
I actually haven't had that much interaction with Thanatos. I went the other romance option with Megara, but like basically, yeah, like every time that I interact with Thanatos, he's just like, ugh, I can't believe you need my help again. You're so annoying, Zagreus. Can't
Well,
believe. Go ahead.
The funny thing about that is like he shows up and he's just like, first of all, the way he shows up, fucking iconic. The bell tolls, everything turns green, and it just says death approaches, and it's like, fuck yes. And then he has 2 modes of dialogue. And the first mode of dialogue is, Zagreus, I have legitimate feelings, and I'm upset that you, as my childhood friend, left without saying goodbye. And then the second type of dialogue is my favorite, which is petty nonsense, because he will show up and he'll either be extremely, depending on like how good your run is, he'll either be extremely successful in killing monsters or you'll be more successful. And either way, he shows up and he's just like, you know, you could just stop begging for my help. I have work to do. I have other things to do. And Zagreus is like, I literally never asked.
I have no way of contacting you, sir. You always drop in on me.
Right, and then he just ignores that completely, and he's just like, I have a job, Zagreus. I can't just pop in and help you, but I literally never. I can't keep doing this. It is against the rules. And I'm like, baby, I love you so much. You do a terrible attitude. So good to me. But he's great. He's a tender little lovesick fool, and I love that for him.
Yeah, I do want to like. I wish maybe when this game like is out for a little bit longer, there'll be like websites with all the dialogue trees, because I just want to like read through all their stories, and just like see where the Thanatos option goes, because I'm sure, because I mean he is romanceable, and like I just want to see like what their relationship looks like, because it's mostly just like a pissed off Grim Reaper constantly like doing 9,999 damage all around you, while you're just like, hey man, are you good?
It's very sweet. It's very tender. If you get a chance to read it, you should. It's quite nice. Oh, what's Meg like? I didn't romance her only because she's mean to Sisyphus.
I didn't realize she's mean to Sisyphus. That's rude. But
That's her job.
yeah, Meg is very much like, again, like very angry, like just kind of similar to Thanatos in that she's just like, listen, Zagreus, you're a fucking moron. Stop trying to get out of this house. Every time you come here, I'm gonna. She has a whip, so she's like, I'm gonna use this whip and I'm gonna beat the snot out of you with it. And Zagreus is like, hey, if you try to romance her, he's just like, well, hey, Meg, maybe we could look past all that. And she's like, no, I'm gonna keep fighting you, idiot. Um, and like as you keep giving her gifts, the nectar and the ambrosia, like she starts opening up and being like, this is I'm not doing this because because I hate you. It's because I have to, and like I do understand where things went wrong, and maybe we could make them right again. But it's very much like whenever you give her these gifts, she's like, Zacharias is like, hey, maybe I thought I could, maybe you would want this. And she's like, is that contraband? Disgusting. That's mine now. Stupid. It's very much like that.
Did you get to the point where her and Achilles are having a conversation and Achilles is just like, Meg, meet me in the lounge, or else, how else will we get rid of this contraband that we have requisitioned, this contraband we have confiscated, contraband that we need to get rid of in the lounge? And Meg is like, yes, the contraband that we need to get rid of in the lounge. It's their friendship. Like, I think that's one of the best parts of Hades is like walking in on other people's conversations. There was a drawing that lives rent free in my head, and it is just this fan art someone did, very like quick sketch of Zagreus leaning dramatically on a door frame with his hand on his forehead like an 1890s lady, and going, oh, won't somebody tenderly stitch my wounds while softly calling me an idiot? Won't anybody do this for me and hold me gently while reprimanding me for being a reckless fool? And in the foreground, it's just both Thanatos and Meg just like holding their temples in deep frustration. And I'm like, that's it. That's the game.
That's so good. That's the perfect encapsulation of what it's like. Just like Zagreus is your idiot ex-boyfriend that you still have feelings for, and you hate him so much because he's so fucking stupid, but also he's got a heart of gold under there, that dumbass.
He does. Oh, he's so good.
I'm glad that you brought up like the fact that you could walk in on other people's conversations, because that's like, I mean, that's the heart of Supergiant, right? Is that they do such good character work, right? Like, I mean, there's also like like Hypnos is Thanatos's like little brother. He's the god of sleep, completely useless, super annoying. And
so stupid.
He like every time you roll up, you step out of the pool of blood after you die. Hypnos is like sleeping there, and you go and when you talk to him, and he's like, "Oh hey," no, he wakes up. He's like, "Oh hey, you got killed by a oh yeah, Meg got you again. Man, you guys should probably talk that out sometime, huh?" It's just like, just kind of an annoying little shit.
Have you gotten to his thing where you die of a trap and he's just like, have you tried moving out of the way? Like, yeah, you little shit. Fuck you.
Or like when I got stuck on Asterius and Theseus, he keeps constantly asking for the Minotaur's autograph, and Zacharias is like, no, I'm not gonna get you the bull's autograph, okay? Stop asking. It's so good.
He does.
I just love seeing the way the relationships pour out.
He does get the autograph?
He does? I haven't got that far.
Oh no! Oh, sorry.
Well, it's weird, right? Because like I've seen credits on this game, and like that's what makes it so interesting and compelling, is that like you could like technically beat this game and still not have seen half of all the good and interesting character options, which makes it so compelling.
It's fucking incredible because he walks into Asterius' chamber and he's like, hey, so a colleague of mine is interested in your would you sign this piece of parchment? And Asterius is like, this is a favor for you, but if Hypnos wants to come down here and fucking fight me, he's welcome to. It's like, Jesus, the energy, Asterius, the vibes.
Man, that's actually Asterius is the one person I wish you could give like nectar to that you can't.
I know.
Because like I want to know more about him, because like basically him and Theseus, like if you know the myth of the Minotaur, right? Theseus is the guy who slayed the Minotaur in the labyrinth, but like in this game, they're like a weird champion arena duel buddies, and like Asterius the Minotaur is just sort of like hanging out while Theseus boasts. I hate Theseus so much. He's so fucking annoying. God. He's such a douchebag.
There's another fan art that lives rent free in my head, and it's Theseus. Somebody just 2-panel comic of Theseus saying that whatever the fuck the line is where he's just like,
He's like, come on, blackguard, or some dumb shit like that.
oh, he says blackguard so often. No, he's just like, my spear is destiny is to enter through the back of you, or something stupid like that. Like basically was stab you in the back. And so somebody just drew Zach and just looking all cocky, and he's like, you want to fuck me so bad it makes you look stupid. And I'm like, yes! See, Theseus is just trying too hard not to be extremely homosexual.
Oh man, I didn't pick up on that, huh?
I mean, listen, it goes either way. He's mostly just kind of an annoying douche, but it can be read as he just wants to fuck Zag. And listen, I can see it.
Listen, yeah, Zag is an extremely attractive young demigod.
God, and everyone is shirtless. It's very good.
Okay, do you mind if I spoil a light spoil thing for you?
No, please
okay.
do.
So at a certain point, you have to get into Hades' chamber, that locked room at the north side, and when you do, you see his closet, and then like there's the narrator who's like, oh yes, this is Hades' chamber. He keeps everything super orderly and pristine because he is the Lord of Death and very good at accounting. And Zagreus looks at this closet. He's like, man, it's all capes. It's so funny. But like, oh my god, it's just such little stuff like that. It's so fucking good.
I also love, speaking of like little things, I love, so every time you enter the House of Hades, there's like a line of ghosts going to Hades' desk or like milling about. That's Hypnos' whole job, is to check them in. And sometimes there's a little glowing dot next to them and you can see what the cause of death was. And it's always the funniest, dumbest possible thing. And the best part about it is whatever the dialogue is that goes with the cause of death, it like they haven't given up the fucking ghost, so to speak. Like it's very much, you'll walk up to a ghost and he's like, and I was fucking right, I was right, and it was like cause of death brawl.
Yeah.
Like, it's so like just these little tiny things sprinkled throughout. Every time you walk into the House of Hades, it's like something new to do. You know who we haven't talked about in the House of Hades though? Dusa.
Okay, let's talk about Dusa. So I
would die for Dusa.
Dusa kicks ass. She is, I assume, the Medusa, but like in this, she's like,
I think she's just kind of a miscellaneous Gorgon head.
Yeah, I mean maybe, I have no idea, but like, yeah, like she's basically just like a little floating head with like snake hair, and she's very much like clearly flustered by Zagreus, but also like she like dusts everything, every part of the house, and like she's just like a very hard worker, like a service worker. And whenever Zagreus is like, hey, how's it going, Medusa, she's just like, oh, hello, I and then she just like flies up to the ceiling. It's so cute.
She literally cannot speak. It's so good. And the only other time she has a really good friendship with Meg, which I appreciate, but she also her job is to go harass Hypnos about doing his job, and she doesn't want to do it ever. So he's like, Hypnos, have you considered moving the line along? And he's like, it is moving. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm doing my job, Dusa. Are you implying I'm not doing my job? She's like, no, but if you could just
there's 1,000 ghosts and they're all just using the blood pool like a hot tub. If you could just like, scooch them up a bit.
Oh man, that fucking employee of the month poster in the lounge. Every time it's Dusa, my heart lights up.
Oh,
every time.
It's so cute. It's just, I don't know, like there's a lot of, the idea that like, something deep and terrible and mysterious is operated like a bureaucracy is kind of an overplayed trope, but like, I don't know, it works for me, y'all. Like I love that
Same.
fucking like office drama, except it's in the underworld or whatever. Like
same. I think that's why The Good Place worked so well, right? Because hell was just a shitty bureaucracy.
Yeah, it's literally just like a bunch of cubicles. So
we haven't talked about Achilles in terms of the House of Hades.
Yeah, so Achilles is basically like the guy who taught Zagreus to use weapons. And I mean, you've probably heard of Achilles. He's like the original superhero, basically. Was in a big war. So he's like pretty famous. He is, I mean, I haven't finished his and Patroclus's like storyline, but like he's just like a sad old gay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that. Him. You find Patroclus in Elysium reciting sad poetry to himself. That is how sad these gays are. They are fucking tragic. And there's literally like Zag comes up to talk to Patroclus, and he's just like, oh, haven't I told you not to bother me? And it took me so long to figure out you have to look at the codex to trigger knowing who the fuck he is. And then I finally figured it out, and Zag is like, hey, you're Patroclus, right? And he's like, yeah, but don't tell Achilles. So what does he do? He dies. He's like, hey, Achilles!
Excuse
Guess
me.
What?
I found your boyfriend.
I found your man's.
Do you want
he
him?
said poetry.
You want him? I can take him back.
I'm like the god of blood, apparently, or whatever. I don't know. I could pull some strings. Achilles is like, shh.
Be cool for a single second, my man.
Just be cool. Yeah, their story is incredible. This book is controversial, but Madeline Miller's Song of Achilles made me fucking ball. So reading that and then following up these sad gays now post death is an emotional gut punch.
Yeah, it's a lot. We should probably touch on Orpheus and Eurydice real quick. I mean, again, just listen to the Hades Town musical if you're really interested in that story. But basically, it's just like Eurydice got sent to the underworld, and Orpheus went in after her, but he fucked up his deal with Hades to save her. So now Orpheus is Hades' personal muse or musician. Eurydice lives in Asphodel and is mad at her ex-boyfriend because he fucked up and looked back at her, which is very funny, right? Like, because that's the thing, like, because this whole game is like expanding on the stories we already know. It's just like, and then what happened afterwards? And like, I love that, right? Because like, of course, Eurydice would be like, yeah, I'm still mad at Orpheus because he's the reason I'm down here making like fucking gumbo in Asphodel with Lerny the Bone Hydra instead of like chilling up in Elysium with all the cool people.
Well, she wouldn't be in Elysium because she wasn't a warrior per se, but like, yeah, she could have found a cooler place to hang. The literal lava hell.
Yeah.
You brought up Lerny. We have to talk about Lerny the Hydra. I don't really have anything to contribute to Orpheus and Eurydice, except for the part where Eurydice asks Zagreus. She's like, does he still have his like perfect little curls? And Orpheus's hair is just straight up fucking exploded, and Zag goes, no.
Nah. He looks like he's been electrocuted 1,000 times.
And he refuses to sing because he's really sad that you're not around. And Eurydice's like, good! And then slowly but surely comes around. Her boons are cool too. She gives like her and Patroclus, you get to choose one of 3 boons. Hers are, I like hers better almost because she just like levels up the shit you already have, but Patroclus comes in handy if you've fucked up and died a couple of times. Mm-hmm.
Patroclus came in clutch real nice a couple of times because he replenishes your death defiance, which allows you to extend your run for longer.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about the gameplay yet.
Oh, not yet. We'll get there.
Maybe. We'll see.
We'll fucking figure it out. So other than in Asphodel, our beautiful Eurydice, the boss is the Loranian Bone Hydra. And this is the only boss I think that has only killed me like twice. For some reason, I always have really good runs with the Bone Hydra.
Learning's not that hard, yeah.
Learning's a good time, especially if you have like chain hit.
Yeah, the bounce between the heads. Yeah, that's good shit.
So easy, such good shit. So once you beat Lerny or die to Lerny enough times, Zagreus goes, "Can I call you Lerny? Is that cool?" And Lerny roars, and Zag says, "I'm gonna take that as a yes." And so you kick. Every time you beat a boss, it'll say like Fury vanquished or Champions vanquished, and it always says Hydra vanquished. But when you have that dialogue, it changes to Lerny vanquished. And then the next time you see him, his HP bar also changes to Lerny the Bone Hydra. It's really fucking good.
It's really good and cute. I love it. And like, oh god, it makes you feel so invested in the story and the world. Like, even if we've probably both beaten Lerny like over 20 times now, same boss fight. But like, I mean, it's just so fun to be like, oh hey man, how's it going? Oh, did you do something different? You got different bone prominations like this time around. Oh, you're shooting magma instead of the psychic waves. Interesting. Very nice. I'll
Oh,
catch you
you
on the
have
flip, bud.
skeleton friends now. Yeah. See you next time. See you next time. Bye. Like it gives, because I mean, it kind of buys into the conceit of the game, right? Which is you run the same course over and over again, and it's truthfully not even always the same course, because sometimes, like once you catch wind of what the fuck is going on, like if you're going through what's the first one? Tartarus. If you're going through Tartarus and you get two doors, and one door has that little skeleton with the up arrow, and you're like, that's a mini boss. And then you have versus Charon's shop, you're like, okay, so I know who the mini bosses are. It's either those two hopping motherfuckers, or it's the big crystal, and I don't want to fight either of them right now, so I'm gonna go to Charon's shop. And you could like ostensibly skip the mini boss and just go straight to the Fury, but then you also get, instead of just Meg, after the first like 10, I don't know, 15, 20 runs, you suddenly get introduced to Meg's sisters, who have completely different fighting patterns.
They're
and like
way
a
harder.
Boss fight. They're so hard. Which one got you the most?
The one Electo is the one that I don't like the most, because I can handle Tisiphone. One, because all she does is say murder, and like you can sort of predict the patterns of her, like her whips and her like little like projectiles, and then also when she switches rooms, like it's sort of a more confined space, and depending on your build you can manage that. But Electo's just like, I'm gonna perma rage now and never stop attacking, and it's just like, excuse me ma'am, could you not?
Yeah, I'm the opposite. Tisiphone kicked my ass like 12 times before I got the hang of her. And then Electo, I think I met Electo at a point in the game where my builds are always really defense heavy, so I was able to like time my hits right, and I think I beat her on the second try. Nice. With Tisiphone, it was like 8.
Nice, very good. Yeah, like real quick before we actually start getting into the gameplay, I want to. How much do you know about Sisyphus and the boulder?
I know that Zagreus tries to make friends with the boulder, and I think that's fucking incredible.
Okay, yeah, like, was no one told me that you could give nectar to the boulder. I gave nectar to Sisyphus a couple of times, and he was always nice to me, but the boulder?
Yeah, you can get Boldy. His name is Boldy.
Boldy.
We respect Boldy in this house.
And like apparently you can get a boon from Boldy, which is wild because it's a rock, but sure, I guess.
Yeah, and if you give your puppy, your father, enough nectars and bring your relationship with him, you can go fishing together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I haven't gotten there. I've just seen it, a screenshot of it. I have no idea how to get there or what to do or how it works, but there is a fishing minigame, and yes, apparently you can go fishing with your dad.
Oh god, I've probably put between 25 and 30 hours into Hades at this point. Like I'm like kind of don't want to play it anymore, but there's like so many interesting and good like moments that I just want to see or like read about, and like it's so compelling. Like
I know.
If I had it on Switch, I would actually probably still be playing it, but I have it.
I'm waiting for the Switch cross save, because that's coming.
Okay,
because I have it on Switch now, but I'm just waiting to be able to load my own save file, and then
yeah, if I can get it on, if once that comes, you have to let me know so then I can also have it on Switch, because that's the perfect game to just like have on the couch and play.
Absolutely. Do we want to do the Greek gods just in terms of like who's favorite, least favorite, in terms of like boons?
Yeah, definitely. So the Greek gods that are in this game are Zeus, Poseidon, Athena, Artemis, Ares, and Dionysus. You know, you probably listen. If you are listening to this podcast, you probably know who these are. And like, so.
And Demeter, right?
Oh yeah, Demeter later on. Once I didn't know if you had unlocked her yet, but yeah.
Oh yeah, I beat it all the way through once. I've had like 66 escape attempts.
Oh nice. Yeah, Demeter's Persephone's mom. So like. My favorite is Athena, because her specialty is deflection, right? So like there are tons of times in this game like monsters will shoot little like projectiles at you. So the main thing that I love to do is get her dash, deflect dash, which is really good, and then also her deflect cast, because like I don't even think it's like necessarily the best cast, but I think that it's just so fun to just shoot a projectile and watch all this shit like bounce off of it. It's just so satisfying, especially in that one room where all the witches are there and they're just like throwing shit at you. I just love to watch it all go. Pew! It's gorgeous. Um, and then like besides that, oh, I forgot Hermes. Why didn't I put Hermes on there? Um,
And what's the one? The goddess of love. Why am I
oh,
blanking?
Aphrodite. Wow, I missed a lot of them. This is the fault of the Hades fan wiki. So maybe I should go and expand it. Besides that, I think either Hermes or Dionysus is my favorite because I really love Dionysus. Oh no, it's probably Ares. Because Ares has Doom and like you can get that stacked damage, which is really useful. But also I just like being fast and I like Hermes' little quick abilities. Do you have what are your favorites?
Yeah, I feel like Poseidon and Dionysus have my favorite boons, and Hermes, obviously, because fast is always good. But like because I mean Poseidon and Athena actually have a really similar battle set. I also love his deflection dash because it also causes damage, and it's just fun. And one time, so if you die enough in Hades, the game picks up on the fact that you're fucking up a little bit and just showers you with boons. One time I just had a series of like horrible runs, and I picked up these boons. So it was Poseidon, you dash and knock people away. Your special dashes or special knocks people away. And when you knock people into corners and you dash into corners, it like stacks the damage. So I would just dash monsters into corners and they would be destroyed. And then on top of that, if you get like a boon that helps you get through shield faster, it was so fun. I didn't get all the way to Hades. I was pretty reckless that run, but I was like, this is fucking delicious. But yeah, Poseidon's probably my favorite. And then I actually don't use Demeter or Ares that often, or Chaos for that matter. Chaos, it depends if I'm just like trying to fulfill a prophecy or not. I might just go to them for like, just to see if they have a boon I haven't used yet. But otherwise, I mostly stick to like Poseidon, Dionysus, Hermes, Athena, and Artemis. And Zeus for Chain Lightning.
Yeah, you gotta get that chain lightning though.
Chain Lightning fucking fucks!
Zeus is a douchebag, but does have good abilities.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I really like there's those rooms where, so usually you get a boon by beating a room, but sometimes there's a room where there's two boons and you have to pick. I love that. I mean, like, this isn't the most faithful interpretation of Greek lore, obviously.
Yeah.
But the thing that I love that they kept is that the Greek gods are petty as fuck. If you pick one and not the other, you get lectured, and then they try to kill you. And if you survive, they're like, but just play and forget about it here and have the boon. Like, it's so fucking annoying. And then when you get to fight Theseus, his second stage is summoning a boon of the gods, which, by the way, fun fact, if you guys are trying to experiment out there, no, if you try to go for Theseus first, no, the boon of the gods does not hurt Asterius. I tried to go for him first to see if maybe the gods would take down Asterius. Nope, doesn't happen. He is not affected by that damage, so don't do that. You will die. But every time he summons a god, Zagreus is like, whose fucking side are they on? Maybe no one's. Their own side.
Like, come on, man. You should probably have caught on to that by now.
I love that every time any of like the older men are like nephew, and then you get Dionysus is like, Zag, man, what's going on, baby? Like it's oh god, they're really good.
It's just so nice. They have so much personality. It's basically everything about this game is so good, despite the fact that it's really only 4 levels. Like,
yes.
Like I don't. Do you play roguelikes at all? Because like I've played a couple, like Enter the Gungeon and FTL, and like I could just never stick with them because like after I died like and lost all my shit, I was like, well, that sucks. I guess I'll play an easier game.
Yeah, it really depends. I've tried Binding of Isaac back when Binding of Isaac was really popular. It was just too hard. And, like, I understand. I like hard games. Like, Breath of the Wild is not an easy game. Bloodborne is not an easy game. You've beaten Bloodborne, game.
So, like, yeah.
I have not beaten Bloodborne.
Oh, okay.
I've gotten through a chunk of it. I fucking will. Once I get my PS4 back, I fucking will. But anyway, I enjoy a hard game. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoy a good difficult game. But like if you die in Bloodborne, you have an opportunity to pick your blood ship back up. If you die in Breath of the Wild, it drops you pretty close to where you died. There's like a joy in progression. I don't really find any enjoyment out of like a hard game that does nothing but like beat you down. I don't know. Maybe I'm just like not a pro enough gamer, but like I don't know. It's just not fun to me.
Yeah, no, I tried to play Bloodborne and I just like got constantly frustrated, like extremely aggro, just like nope, nope, nope. Like I just can't do those like Souls like games or even games that aren't like that hard. That just like if you aren't making progress, I just can't get into it. But the way that the Hades does it is not only do you like keep some progress, right? You whenever you can pick up these like purple gems basically, and you can use those gems to make yourself stronger over time, right? You can build up your hit points and increase the amount of damage you do, etc., etc. Um,
Yeah.
so that's definitely useful, and it does show you like, okay, hey, if I can save up this amount, then I can actually do this, and I'll have unlock this amount of death defiances, and that'll allow me to not get wrecked, and that's very satisfying. But even beyond that, like that alone is, I think, like a huge and important hook of the game. But beyond that, there's just like so much other stuff besides like like, you could talk to the characters and form relationships with them. But there's also like the prophecies, right? If you could get little extra bonuses when you go back and die, and you can redeem them, and then you get these little gems that you can use to like make the House of Hades nice and add like little flourishes, right? You can buy like a musical stand, so that way or if you can change the music that's playing in the house, or you can buy like different drapes. Like my main thing has been um, uh, upgrading the kitchen so the chef has like new knives and spiced meats, and it's just like
I love the
the chef's
chef.
so cute.
Chef is so good. He's just long and ghost-like, and you can bring him fish, and he will give you rewards for bringing him fish. I put a towel rack next to the blood pool because I'm classy.
There we go. Excellent. uh,
Yeah, there's the mirror, right? And then there's, if you talk to characters and give them nectar, they give you a trinket, and you can level up that trinket, so there's another measure of progress. You can get aspects for your weapons. And then once you've beaten the game once, there's a punishment contract where you can choose your own difficulty markers, and then the rewards reset when you hit a certain threshold of difficulty with certain weapons. So there is like a sense of constant progression, and it's not like unnoticed by the other characters either. But neither are the house repairs, because I love it when Hades yells at you for shit you do. Because you can requisition anything you want from the contractor, and I just like usually just go down the list. Like I'm not usually paying attention all that much, especially not when I'm trying to fulfill a prophecy. But I love when Zag gets fancy chairs, and either Hades yells at him, or he's like, well, guess I'm requisitioning more furniture I'm never gonna sit on. Let's go. Like it's good. Just like everyone has something to say about everyone else, and it's I think the last thing I did when I stopped playing last week before the election, I got really depressed. I boned Thanatos. I think that was the last thing I did.
Nice.
And I think the next time I log in, everyone's going to have something to say about it, which is something I got accidentally spoiled for me, which I'm very excited about. But, like, that's the shit that makes this game good, is, like, there's a constant sense of progression, and, like, you feel invested and involved in matters of the house.
Yeah, absolutely. That is something I always strive in whatever, like, especially when I'm doing, like, role-playing games, like tabletop games. I want people to feel invested in the world, like the place that they're going to be spending a lot of time in. And like Hades just nails that feeling so much. It's definitely just incredibly well done, and I hope Supergiant just gets extremely wealthy off of this game, because they're a great studio, and I'm basically like you said, they put out all these bangers. It's incredible.
For sure. Yeah, they put out Pyre was extremely experimental, and I find myself the least attached to it. Honestly, probably mostly because I just wanted to kiss Jodie so bad. She was big and strong and beautiful, and I loved her, and Supergiant didn't let me kiss her, and I am still sad about that. But yeah, it's just banger. Like, Bastion was a banger, Transition's a banger, Pyre's a banger. Hades is like, honestly, Hades scale wise is so fucking big compared to anything they've done before. So I hope they make bank off this game and are able to keep kind of exploring this style of gameplay for themselves, because it's really been paying off for them, and I really enjoy their growth. And much like Studio Trigger, they haven't done me dirty yet, so I'm gonna keep giving them my money. Also, they have a bunch of symphonic concerts up of their music, and if you ever have a chance to watch Darren Korb and Ashley Barrett, who are the voices of Orpheus and Eurydice, perform some shit, it's delightful. It's always nice to see the different versions of their songs that they put up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think we're wrapping this conversation up, but I do want to know if you could be someone in the House of Hades. What would you do if you lived in the House of Hades?
Like an established character, or just like someone random from Greek lore? I'm trying to snuff out the parameters of this question.
Pick a job that isn't a named character, but also pick a named character that you think you would have some sort of relationship with.
Okay, cool.
I'll go first. I think that I would probably be one of the accountants. I'd be like in the thing, and whenever Zagreus would come around, I'd just be like, oh my god, it's the fucking boss's kid again. Can we just I'm just trying to do spreadsheets, bro. But I think that I would also like definitely hang out in the kitchen and like have a good time with I don't think Meg is too cool to hang out with me, but I think
Absolutely.
I think that maybe like Achilles, I would like, occasionally wave at Achilles, and I think that Achilles would be like, oh hey, what's up? And that would be it.
I think I would be the contractor's like right hand man.
Nice.
And just do all the organizational shit in all the upgrades. And I think I would begrudgingly love Cerberus, and
even though he
Zagreus,
keeps tearing up your lounge.
Even though he keeps tearing up my lounge, job security, man. And then I think I would just, after everyone went and fucked off to do their business, I think it would be like me, the chef, and the little store manager guy. I think we'd all just be having drinks with Dusa.
Oh man, I want to live in the world of Hades. Man, I want to be in hell real bad.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I feel like Elysium is painted as like a cool place to be, but it looks real miserable. I don't know.
I mean, Patroclus has nothing nice to say about it, so.
I feel like if I was just around a bunch of flex and dude bros who died fighting and wanted to keep fighting in the afterlife, I would get real exhausting.
Yeah, that might be a lot to handle. So I think that's probably a pretty good discussion of Hades. It's not on sale anymore, but you can still get it for like $25 on Steam or Epic Games or Switch. I'm sure the Switch version is great, but if you don't have a Switch, I recommend getting an Epic Games Store because they give their developers a little bit more money.
Yeah, and also they regularly put all of their other games on hella sale. You could get Transistor for like $3 pretty regularly now, and it's very, very good.
Yeah, it's extremely good. So next week, I think we were going to do the Burning God, but it comes out on the 17th. So, and that next episode will be coming out like the day before that. So I feel like we should do our Scorpio season podcast next week, and then do Burning God after that. So next week, or I guess this week, is it Sunday? It is Sunday. Oh my god.
It's Sunday.
Yeah, so this week, me and Leyla both have birthdays, so we're just gonna have like kind of a fun time and talk about whatever we want for 45 minutes to an hour. We don't know what we're gonna talk about, but I think it'll be fun to kind of relax our structure a little bit. Not that we have an incredibly rigid structure, but I think it'll be a good time.
Yeah, it's gonna be a real fuck around and find out of an episode.
Yeah, maybe we'll do shots first or something.
Oh fuck yeah!
An extremely wild one on a Sunday a Sunday night.
I mean, we had a fantastic time getting drunk and playing Jackbox games, so I'm sure we can bring that energy.
Yeah, I'm sure we can. Oh my god, that was really fun. All right, Leyla, where can people find you on the internet?
I'm at LEYLSES on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram. You can check out my comic, astralhorrorcomic.com. That will hopefully be back up this week now that we live in Joe Biden's America and I can unclench my ass for 10 seconds. And I also wrote an essay today that's actually kind of relevant to this discussion. It is about world building versus character building and why stories that do both often don't do a disservice to both elements in overdevelopment or underdevelopment.
Yeah, I haven't got around to that one, but I will be reading that as soon as we get off this call. You can find me on Twitter at AaronSXL. You can find the other podcast I do at MBF and me. Another weird experimental week. Me, Michael, and Josh talked about our the ways we fell away from Christianity. So it's not actually very funny, but it is like kind of emotional and like kind of touching. So it's if you're into learning about why people are not, especially to queer people, are not exactly thrilled with the church, tune into that one. And then I also talk about my favorite Catholic doctrine that drove me away from the church, which is very funny. Um, and yeah, I also updated I have a website that I don't really plug very much, but it's aavoigt.com. That's VOIGT. It's basically the same stuff as this, but it's kind of nice that I have a little website. Um, our theme song is Obsolete by Keshko from the album Filmmakers Reference Kit Volume 2. You can find more of their music at keshko.bandcamp.com. Highly recommend you check them out. And I think I wanted to close this out with a quote from the author Neon Yang about Hades. And I think they sum it up in the best way. They say, quote, "Anyway, play Hades if you want canon gay, and not just canon, but all the queer content absolutely loving and tender and will fill you with joy. Can't bury the gays if the gays already live in hell."
Fuck yeah.